Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nasty Week 4. I'm here with Appa Bug, and we're ready to get into round 7 and 8.
Yep, we're right at the middle, or I guess the latter stretch of the season, or is that? I don't know, something like that. We have an Atlas Lab game to start us off here, which is cool between Yay and Corpse Control. Corpse Control, I believe 4-2. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Yep, and our other lovely team of Yin and Yang is struggling a little bit more this season, but it's, there's always time to make a comeback. It's not too late to make the playoffs right now. I think this is actually a really interesting start, like, feel different in prime time though, because whenever you have like side starts like this and a cooldown start, it becomes like a interesting choice. Do you value the size more, or do you value the cooldown reduction more? We'll see what these teams want.
Yeah, and it definitely looks like the teams kind of picked into these awakenings. We see Rasmus, X, Mako, Julie, getting rid of Asher and Atlas. All smart picks here, given our awakening start. Pretty fairly standard team of Mako, X now on Corpse Control, and Yin and Yang's running a little bit of a also pretty standard team. Maybe not actually. I'm not sure. I guess it's Aimi. Actually, maybe. Oh, I don't know who the goalie is on Yin and Yang. Actually,
I think it's safe to assume it's a Juliet Brawler on the guy that gets, right?
yeah, that makes the most sense. So it's either Rasmus or Aimi on goalie here. I think
I'm betting it's the
probably
Rasmus goalie.
Yeah, I think so too.
I
I think at this level it tends to be the Rasmus goalie.
Yeah, also I think Dragon Claude prefers the melee goalies more anyway, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, it can always be a surprise. Maybe they fooled us and the opponents, Yep, sounds good. And I believe. Oh no, it's gonna be Corpse Control with the Juliet. Oh, okay. So that's Juliet. And then it's definitely gonna be Rasmus goalie if it's Corpse Control, because Andy is like a Rasmus connoisseur. I am curious what he prefers here between Prime Time and Build Different. They're both very good on Rasmus goalie, actually.
Yeah, now that the colors have been changed, this makes a lot more sense to me on the teams that we're seeing here. I get this. I'm down for what I'm seeing.
Yep. And I believe our map, like our 3 maps for today, I don't know if we've gone over them, or game 1 is going to be Lab, game 2 is going to be Carry-On, and game 3 will be Night Market, assuming there is one. So that's going to be definitely nice to see. But I think these are like pretty standard maps. It's kind of interesting to see not too much gimmick. I guess higher variance maps like Gates, Autumn, Tycho Demon days generally end up becoming more of. I mean, they're not like crazy, but they have their own things, right? But Lab, CTC, and Night Market, especially in competitive play, end up becoming more, I guess, laid back maps, or almost like probably the most common 3 maps played in competitive. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, this just goes to show that Omega Strikers is a game where people do kind of gravitate towards certain maps, and there's nothing wrong with that. Unless you're, some viewers at home might like to see it mix up, but for the players, it tends to be a pretty safe environment in terms of what maps you most likely are going to be playing on. Like, occasionally you get some people who are like demons on gates who try to hijack the match and take you there, but you know, not all the time.
Hijack the match is an interesting choice of words. I think, yeah, there's definitely teams that prefer certain maps that are outside of like those big three of Lab, Night Market, Clarion, Corp. But it seems like these two teams just want a more straightforward approach to their game. They want to win purely off of being the better team on generalist, situations rather than being the better team on specific maps.
Yeah, sometimes you are playing more of the map than you are playing your team comp.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a little bit of both, but the way you have to play certain maps, especially like Inkies or Gates, tends to be vastly different. But Atlas Lab, a couple, you have a couple options. That's it. Do you break the black hole? Do you leave it up? Those are a question for your team's play style,
Mhm.
depending on how you like it.
Yep. And here we go. It is going to be the Rasmus goalie with the IME, um, which is always a treat to see. And as the question, as I was talking about earlier, we're going to see two sizes on corpse control and one on the side of Yay. So we'll see how much that causes. But whoa, right off the bat, he's gonna pick up a kill. So like the power play 2 seconds into the game is always like really ideal because it also means you get to level 2 a lot faster.
Yeah, and I see some some excellent corner pressure here. That triangle almost taking out Dragon Claw's options altogether there, other than clear down, but with things like Cyber Swipe and Dash Punch, it makes it quite hard when the corner pressure is
Whoa.
that well set up. And that hook, pretty devastating at this low level.
Yep, and Yachi doesn't even have the ult yet, so Wee is not gonna find the confirm yet, and is pretty low himself, so it's gonna definitely be a little bit of a struggle, but they're gonna pick up the barrier. Wee dodging that arrow and is able to sneak it in. Really nice job from Corpse Control. It seems like that's 2 rounds in a row where we was, got into that dire state, but the kill confirms are just not coming through yet.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it looked like Dragon Claw had missed the primary a couple times there, either to hit the core or to finish off Wii. And if they're gonna beat Corpse Control, they're gonna have to up the accuracy because Corpse Control is known to be kind of a nasty demon team, getting second place last season. So when it's come to playing against Corpse Control, you cannot slack against this team.
Yep, and kill on the goalie. Goalie was a little too high up there. I also wanted to point out that I really think that the Corpse Control kickoff is so clever with the Rasmus hook into the middle. It pressures the brawler or the midfielder, whatever, when you're lining up against so much on their kickoff. It's actually pretty smart. I'm surprised I don't see it more often from other teams. So I think Corpse Control has I guess found themselves a little bit of a strong kickoff tactic, and also these awakenings are kind of crazy too with the Knife's Edge going to that Juliet. You can't deny both 1-2 and Knife's Edge. You're always gonna get one. Personally, I actually think Knife's Edge is better than 1-2. So if I'm Juliet, I am very happy with how this went. There is gonna be the Monumentalist though on that now, so you got all.
Oh, absolutely. Even after the nerf, Monu now tends to be pretty strong, just because the area of effect that you get is just so large on all her moves, and larger growing triangles can absolutely devastate you, just like what we just saw there. Not quite with the triangle, but it's just kind of like these are both teams that are gonna be able to just get those quick kills. But with this Knife's Edge now on Julie, and it's just with the built different and the pummelers, you really can't afford to get anywhere near that edge.
Yeah, I think we and Zack Smack have also been playing a lot of these sequences really well. Zack Smack actually, even though he was picking, I think, the last on his team that other round, he's done a really good job this game playing that supportive position, both looking for damage and playing a lot of core control while they're stacking damage. I think it's really impressive job from him. Even though Wee's gonna die, they're gonna just buy time here with that core flip. But not for long, as the guy that gets is gonna pick up the traditional, the guy that gets killed there. Really good job. But we are back to kind of a neutral state now.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic kill. A little bit. I think a couple times it looked like Rasmus on the range didn't quite judge his range right or where they were going. A couple strange bell ringers, I'd say, from the guy that gets. But obviously, he when he does get, he gets, and he is
Yeah.
working his best on it. And it's just, I
I
don't know.
think
There's Go
I think
ahead.
it's interesting though what Dragonclaw and Yachi's like spacing between each other is.
Mhm.
It's kind of bizarre. I wonder if they're like, it looks like they're not used to playing with each other almost. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's something I kind of noticed too compared to the other Nast matches I've watched. I don't know if it's because of the
Yeah.
2 week break or how much time
Hmm.
they've had to Oh, the guy that gets, he's still getting kills. I mean, that's not changed, but I just wonder if maybe the team maybe hasn't played as many games together over the holiday season, spending time with their friends and family as they should. So, that's probably what's happened, but I still expect that, even if this game here goes a little rough, that they'll find the synergy that they've learned to play with each other originally, and they'll probably take it home. Like right there, looks like Dragonclaw's back in the mix, actually picking up the kills on Wii now, which is huge for this team, especially if the guy that gets can keep getting his own kills. The more power plays that they ramp up here, oh, and it's in.
Yeah. Well, they've both been 3-0 rounds, but both rounds have looked basically very different 3-0s. Like that round, they were actually finally able to find their confirms, but they just haven't quite been able to find the goals. So we'll see if in the next set they'll evolve to finding the kill confirms and then scoring on the ensuing power plays,
Yeah,
or if they'll fall over.
it's gonna have to be a mix of kills and scoring goals, or scoring goals. But they do need to make a decision, and they need to make that decision fast because their backs are against the wall in the 6-0, and you don't want to get locked out of your match this early in the series on game one.
Yeah, I mean, going 9-0 in game one is probably one of the biggest like momentum killers of all time. Like that's how you lose a series. I'm gonna be honest. Even if like you're thinking that it's gonna be an even series, going 9-0 in game one is just not what you want to have. But a kill from the guy against, and somehow he's gonna find himself alive here. Try to be careful and not even going for that orb, being very safe there. I like to see that, and the guy that is gonna get out of that staggered state, which means that they're gonna at least get something out of this power play. However, we're back to once again a neutral state, but this time with a lot of core flips. Wee's gonna find the dash punch, along with Zach's next core flip to put it in. But it's kind of the same as last set where they're gonna find the kill, but they're too low to do anything with the core.
Yeah, and the thing about Atlas Lab, even though now is still considered a higher pick character than, let's say, Era, for example, on Atlas Lab, now getting hit by the black hole in any sense, with any bit of damage from the enemy team, just kind of gets you killed. I mean, they didn't die in this point yet, but they had to play perhaps a little less aggressive than they might have wanted to on the now character. Just because her health was just turned to 0 in almost a blink of an eye, just because of a map environment, and that can be part of what we discussed earlier, where you have to really know how to play the maps in Omega Strikers, because the maps can determine the game sometimes more than team play, and carelessness will get you nowhere.
Yep, the guy that gets is getting a lot of kills now. Actually, has the core flip here. They gotta be careful of it, but it's actually pretty impressive. Some of these kills, like I always like, whenever I watch this guy play, I know this guy's gonna get like 3 or 4 kills that like no one else in the universe would find, and finds that goal there. That's kind of what they want to, what they want, because when you're consistently killing, when your brawler's consistently killing not only their brawler but also their midfielder off these kind of random like knockback kills. They're not even all like damage kills. you kind of want to be able to score because usually knockback kills actually require less cooldowns than damage kills. Because of when you're going for a damage kill, you're gonna have to dump a lot of abilities to get them low in the first place. But sadly, they weren't able to convert. But now, I mean, it's looking a little bit better for them.
Yeah, Wii is getting knocked everywhere around, despite the fact that they're not dead and they're still being aggressive despite being low health, which is something you won't see too much at lower elos, which is pretty good. That's what determines a NAST team from, like, let's say, an OSAS team or a gold solo queue player. Just because you're low doesn't mean you can't still contribute to getting kills. If you outplay your opponent, play some mind games, you can still pick up a kill or two even while staggered.
Yep. I definitely think though some of these dribbles from like the midfield and goalie duo on Ye has been a little bit sloppy in terms of like getting the core to where they want it to go. But as long as they keep finding these kills, they probably won't get punished too hard. The guy that almost gets dash punched there, but is gonna live as both barriers gonna fall, and they are now in a no barrier zone with core flips up on one of the goalies, but that's about it. Wee is taking incredibly low. The guy that gets also is low, but not quite as low as Wee. Somehow living though, really nice job there. Yachi and Dragonclaw trying to get the core over to the guy that gets. The guy that gets actually just gonna play the hit stun, and a nice job from Yachi to just put it in instead. I think a lot of times when your brawler is low like that or like lowish, it's kind of just better to go for the direct shot and let the brawler just hit stun in that spot. And really good job from Ye to convert.
Yeah, Yin and Yang, this is really big for them. This is the first 2 points they've got in the whole game in this one set, and like that's a momentum changer. That's good for the team morale because, like you said, if they had got 9-0'd, I mean it just removes your will to continue a lot of the time. And I don't think that's going to happen here. I think Yin and Yang will take the set. And then then the rest is up for them to determine from there. But as long as they keep getting these power plays with the guy that gets and just secure the defense and don't get too greedy during the power plays, I think that they will pick up this set. But
it's looking really good there with they got both barriers. Yachi almost at flip, something that actually both goalie and midfield almost have flip. And now there's flip on both members. The guy that gets doesn't have the flip, but has a lot of CDs here. Dragonclaw is going to move up there, and the guy that gets is going to win that strike war thanks to that size on the X. And all of a sudden, a set's being won back, and it's looking like we could see a turnaround in this game here.
Yeah, I really did notice that momentum. That's why I had faith in them to pick up this set. Because compared to the first 2 sets, they were playing 10 times better, and it was noticeable. And I think if they keep that momentum and their morale remains boosted, I think they will take it. A lot of good awakenings here. I do think Demolitionist is good on Mako goalie. Supporting your allies and getting cooldowns can definitely help you a lot. And the size helps against characters like Julie. And just some people might not agree, but I think it's pretty good. I think getting ooh, that was nasty.
He's gonna find that double kill. Basically finds 2 levels on 1 kill there. What I was actually thinking about though from that draft is the rapid fire prime time that went over to Zach Smack. Actually, rapid fire prime time and perfect form is a pretty nasty build, both for dealing damage and core control. I actually think that I mean it didn't really show anything on that point since there's just a double kill for it, but like I actually think that build alone is enough to threaten just the win on itself, as we finds another kill with that knife's edge, kind of what we were seeing in that first set, but we had missed in the previous in the next 2 there. I like that pass up from Zach Smack, and he's not quite. I mean, hey, goalies are not quite brawlers sometimes, yeah. Even if they're very large.
I think you're absolutely right. I think having this amount of cooldown on Aimi and multiple primaries might be a bit of a devastator. But I do also think that sometimes it is how you play the game that will determine who wins and who loses, even with super crazy awakenings. And it's just really crazy to think that this power play against Yin and Yang is just devastating. I mean, oh man, I didn't even get to finish my sentence, and they already cleaned house.
Yep, really good job from the side of Corpse Control. Kind of stabilize this game. Probably looking to win on this point and just call the third set of fluke.
Yeah, I think they realized what they were doing wrong and went to the drawing board and have basically started playing completely different than they were last time. Awakenings draft not really being a factor here too much, I think. I think it's just they've realized that perhaps maybe they were playing a little too greedy, and now that they've kind of determined they're going to play a little differently.
I think Wii just wasn't looking for the kills that he was looking for in the first set, and I think that kind of changed it. Because Yachi was getting very aggressive with positioning, and I think that it needed to be punished, and was punished in the first set, but it took till the fourth set to see it again. So good job, though, on Corpse Control. Juliet is going to pick up that MVP, despite being level 5 at the beginning of that set. Ends up the highest level somehow, which is kind of crazy, but, that's what happens when you get, double kill into 2 more kills in the following 2 rounds. Just win the set by yourself.
I'll say that this is an impressive stat here at the score screen. Both teams equal in kills this game, exactly. So it wasn't necessarily just the power plays that were winning the sets. It was also kind of just the coordination and the core control on top of the power plays here that I think made the difference between the two teams.
Another funny stat. The least damage in the game, but Juliet has tied for the most kills in the game. But both brawlers in this in the series, a little less to the same extent as Wii, but Wii's a little less to the same extent as the guy that gets, but both have very few redirects in comparison to the rest of their team. It shows that they are both forward-thinking brawlers in terms of positioning wise, and they just want to either look to pick off kills or look to put a lot of pressure on the goalie in the net rather than play too much core control. And it shows a lot of faith in your goalie in midfield when you do that, though, because if your goalie in midfield can't get you the core and you're doing that, you're gonna have a hard time winning the game. But really interesting to see kind of 2 similar styles of gameplay. I think Wii is a little bit more of a played that game a little bit more for scoring, while the guy that gets was playing a little bit more for the damage, but very similar style, and we'll see if that continues in this next game.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a change up with the change in the map. Maybe not as explosive, just because again the Atlas Black Hole does do a lot of damage, and playing a character like Mao, like I said before, can really mess you up, because you take one black hole and you have 10% HP, and just literally any move that hits you next will kill you. So it is just, while Now is a great character, it has pretty much everything in her kit that a character could ask for, her health pool does leave a little bit wanting there. I don't think that was entirely what caused that loss, but it definitely partly played into it, I'd say.
Yep. And we're getting into this next draft here, and we see this Irish Swagger we're talking about, the kill game probably not being as much this game as last game because of that lab, but I think when you see Irish Swagger, you're just like, it's probably not going to be too much of a kill game. Especially when the other awakening is not like a damage awakening, just aerial. So I expect to see a more core control based game, but also I think when you have 2 brawlers like me and the guy that gets into game, you're also going to still see a lot of cheese kills, or I guess just positioning kills, right? If you want to be a nice to it. So I think both these brawlers will still find their fair share of kills, but I don't think the damage will be as much of a contributor.
Yeah, just give me a moment here, Alpha. I just need to check something real quick, but feel free to
Yeah.
Maybe check out a
Oh,
couple more
my
stats here.
yapping is my favorite thing after all.
I thought I was chatting. Smile.
Well, chatting and yapping, honestly, yeah, they're all the same.
I'm trying to be a little more on brand, you know.
Yeah, yep. What is the difference indeed? Anyways, Clarion might be my favorite map in the game. I think Night Market is still my favorite, but I think it's a really interesting map that each variation has their own little way to play it, but they all end up being I guess you can play a lot of them pretty similarly. And they all end up being pretty interesting in their own rights. We're gonna see this Asher band come out on the guy that gets just no one wants to see that Asher, that nasty Asher. I've played against it before in solo queue. It is a terror on the force strike field. But I think that is really impressive to see the Estelle band also coming out on the other side. I actually didn't know Andy played it, so that is nice. I mean, it's kind of nice to know. No, it's probably not a ban on Andy. It's probably a ban on. I was just thinking of Ron P used to play on this map, but there's goalie, but it was probably midfield ban. And the Juno pick is gonna come out from Corpse Control. Yep. Sorry for the delays. I'm glad to have Malachi 2 over here. Or maybe Malachi Cyclone 2. Yeah, I think that might be it. But we seem to have ourselves in check here. We are back to this Stagger Start game that I was so excited to watch. Hey, actually, I genuinely like this awakening. It makes games really interesting. Sometimes it ruins them, but it makes them interesting sometimes. So. I actually don't recommend teams try to beat it, and it's kind of sad if you're a team that wants to play more for damage. Ironically, both these teams seemed a little damage heavy in the previous game, so we'll see how they adapt to it, since it seems like it kind of breaks parity a little bit here. But we're gonna see only one Stagger Swagger per team be picked up. Seems like both teams kind of agree they don't actually want it that much. I think we took it, which probably makes a lot of sense. I don't know how much benefit you get off of aerials unless you want to be a Shaolin kicker on Juliet. But you know, right off the bat, we're gonna see a first barrier take.
Yeah, and the guy that gets is looking low, but we almost taking out Yachier. Doesn't quite find him just yet. Yachier is going to get healed up by Dragon Clawed here. The Atlas Celestial Intervention coming out, but Yachier is just going to miss the strike, unfortunately, eating a Blobbo, and that is barriers down for the side of Yin and Yang.
Yep, Zaxmac trying to maneuver this core on the top, trying to keep it like cornered here before allows Weed to look for more setups. Can sometimes be hard though against Atlas to play corner offense, so we'll see if that happens. But a really nice job from Zaxmac just to snipe it across. And I think that's kind of the goal, right? You want to isolate their goalie from their midfield, and then if they try to ever clear across the middle, you snipe it on a reaction, which is kind of what they just did there.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the way to deal with Atlas, from my understanding. You gang up on him with your midfielder. We, though, trying to find a dash punch, doesn't quite find it. Uses the Julie Sad emote, regretfully. Does try to find a barrier, not going to find it. Dragon Clawed does have a very well-timed strike, and now Andy popping the Mako secondary. Your win the interaction button, but does manage to lose a barrier after the core rotates back around. Yachier is trying to keep core control now, does have the core flip, uses it with a great angle, finds the barrier, and that is now an open goal for corpse control.
A really nice strike war from Wee there. Wee is now invisible. Never see him when they go in there. It's almost funny how the spectators can't see them either, if they're on the red side. But we trying to set up this thing on the corner here. Dragon Clawed already had to use an evade, but a nice Giga Blast finds a kill out of nowhere.
Yeah, that guy got absolutely gotten incredibly by Yachier. Great Giga Blast, but now Wee is holding possession so well. Great core flip coming out from Andy is going to stop the guy that gets attempt at scoring, and now this core is in overtime, and it is going fast. Zaxmac. Now Wee from the bushes in the shadows.
The assassin.
Oh my god.
It's like they're playing an assassin character from some MOBA.
Seriously. The unseen Julie is the deadliest.
Yep. And I'm glad actually that we have corpse control on the red side for this game, because it seems like it wouldn't be nearly as entertaining that play if we actually saw them, you know?
Exactly.
We gonna be forced to pick up that barrier though. Still a little bit low and doesn't really have any CDs here. Kind of waiting on that dash punch again. But there it is, but it's just not going to really hit anything. It's so hard to kill Wee though with the Stagger Swagger.
Yeah, I mean, that is just, we were talking about it earlier. Stagger Swagger is going to invalidate that sort of like damage stacking comp or any sort of like ability of that. I mean, Drakkar is great at doing that, but now Drakkar also great at winning Strike Force. It's not going to win this one. Wee, great at finding the dash punch KOs, is going to find that one. And now it is a power play 3v2. Will Corpse Control be able to make it? Bash Punch trying to find something, and a great slime with a redirect from Wee somewhere in there does keep core control long enough for a score, and that is a 3-0 set 1 lead for Corpse Control as we get into this draft.
Really nice job from Corpse Control, continuing what they were doing from the previous set. We're actually going to see Knife's Edge and Fight or Flight, like 2 huge awakenings in this draft. We'll see which one is picked which side. If Julie's going to get Knife's Edge again, then it's kind of nuts. I think especially on this map, it's so edge focused that I think that actually might be insurmountable. There is going to be the twin drive though to note on that Atlas. Can always be annoying, but I think without other awakenings it's going to be difficult to win just off that twin drive.
Absolutely, but you know what? I was interested in this Knife's Edge Julie, but was just a little bit too close to the edge of that knife and does get taken out by another beautiful Giga Blast from Yachi, and that's going to be Andy up in their business. 2v1ing the barriers. Andy, 7-6, 7-5. What are you doing?
Yes, Andy took my comment that I made the previous game about goalies not knowing how to play Brawler to heart and decided to learn how to play Brawler between games. Really nice job from Wee and Zach Smack to finish it. But Andy, what a play. He never expect the Mako to do anything but sit in her own net and press the buff button. But when she comes out and does that, it kind of breaks what you expect to see from a Mako.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this would not be a league run by Master X Malachi if that Mako forward was not somewhere involved. Andy really living up to the Nast legacy here, as Wee does go trying to find another dash punch, almost gets shotgun comboed off of the map. Andy now does have this core flip, playing a little bit of ping pong with Dragon Claw there while their forwards try and find their positioning. Wee is looking so low without that evasive, is going to heal back up though, and a great dash punch is going to create a power play situation. Many such cases seen here tonight with Wee on the field, but and he almost takes their own barrier.
Yep. Really interesting gameplay on this about the ass Nassau, but all that matters is you get the goal at the end. Good job though from the side of Corpse Control, and they are once again in such a dominant fashion. This happened last game as well, where they started off with a 6-0 lead, and they weren't able to take it in 3, they took it in 4. See if that happens again here.
Absolutely. Andy still holding on to this core flip. Now Yachi does get into the fray, taking a barrier, but a Zack Slime is just going to be in the right place at the right time to keep core control for Wee, who has the ultimate, uses it. Phoenix, Flying Phoenix into the goal. That's Dragon Claw dead. Andy now with the pass from Wee. Wee trying to find the strike, does find it off of Yachi and is going to score that second set for Corpse Control.
Yeah, really well played. We realizing that the ult wasn't going to be enough. So instead of trying to force it through it with the ult, just maintained the corner offense instead by positioning correctly there, and just a really good job. Even found that dash punch afterwards with that Knife's Edge. And they're gonna take another set, and these awakenings, go from bad to worse. And now Julie has that Knife's Edge and the 1-2. It's like you can't even contest her on the edge because you'll just die.
Yeah, this is a terrifying looking Juliet, but it is an Atlas with Twin Drive and Timeless, and also, that is Yachi with the Catalyst. It's not going to help too much with what Wee's been doing to him, but already finding a lot of value out of it, is very close to dead, gets almost punched off the map. Andy trying to get involved, does miss the strike shot, but that does buy enough time for Dragon Claw's ultimate to come out and heal up the team, but now kind of in a neutral state, as the guy that does get his hands on the core, but nothing rooting from that just yet.
I've never seen a Mako make so much usage out of stacks and stacks in my entire life. Obviously, stacks and stacks feels good on anyone. The speed is so nice. But the amount that Mako has changed their playstyle because of it, just off of getting that single awakening, is crazy if you're asking me. Basically allowed Andy to maneuver himself up whenever necessary, and such a good job from Wee and and as I said that, they're gonna die. But great job from the two of them to just maintain so much pressure in the opponent net. Andy is also going to finally drop a barrier, but
Oh, beautiful.
yeah, and finally we're gonna see our first goal. But I mean, a really
Oh,
nice
no, you're
job
right.
from them there.
Yeah, very well played. That is their first goal of this this game too. I mean, they got, you know, all it took was one last time, right? They got their one goal, they found their momentum, and they took the set. So maybe this is what we'll see here. But Yachi is taking dangerously low, is learning some pattern recognition, gets half, does not walk towards the edge, instead decides to walk back, survives, but we still in there, almost gets the double barrier off of a crazy angle off the ultimate. Now Dragon Claude is in the weeds, very low now. We also doesn't have any evade, so this could, who knows, this could be anyone's death at this point. It could have been Yachi, dash punch coming out, not quite enough, but that is a lot of evade that Yachi has to work with, as both teams are sitting on one barrier now.
This is one of those spots where you actually didn't want to get core flip because now you only have one evade instead of three. Gonna be forced to use that core flip just to try to break the offense from corpse control. And finally is able to get some healing back, but I mean, not for long. They all coming out late. I think Dragon Claude maybe should have used it for healing instead of trying to revive. But you know, sometimes you want a reaction speed test and you get punished for it.
True, very, very true, and unfortunately, the reaction speed test is going to be very hard to deal with in overtime, as every single core is going to be a reaction speed test. Red core there, red core here, Andy now getting red cored for the barrier, and it is open barriers on either side now. Dragon Claude looking to find a way to get the core to her forwards. Yachi is going to receive the pass, the clear, core flip coming out from Andy, the guy that gets in the perfect position to score and finds the shot. And that is going to be Yin and Yang up by 2 in this third set.
Yeah, really nice job from Yin and Yang. This is kind of actually what happened last game, ironically. We might just see the exact same thing happen here. We'll see if Corpse Control can just, you know, control the game till the very end, finish it out. Andy gonna lose, not quite lose a barrier yet. But honestly, he's playing with fire right now versus the guy that gets on this edge here. I'm genuinely surprised hasn't been punished hard enough. The guy that gets this instead is gonna pick up the punish on Wii there though. That explosive entrance though is also coming in clutch with some of these, not just red coring these cores with shotgun, but also finding extra damage when you're shotgunning. So that's also nice to see.
And just some beautiful, I mean, you hate to say it, some beautiful gameplay coming out of the Juno here on Zack Smack. You know, Blobos, we like to think of them as brain dead, but Zack Smack almost set up just a really beautiful double barrier situation if Andy hadn't messed it up there. But Wii is now back on the field, looking for this last barrier now. It is back to a 3v3. Core flip does come out from Andy, trying to get the guy that gets who has their core flip now, Yachi, trying to find, almost takes out their own Drakkar with that. Not going to just yet. Andy and we both getting into this guy's business, trying to kill this lizard, and the lizard is down, and that is a power play once again for Corpse Control.
Wait, we have so much movement speed. We just ran like an entire lap across the field in like a second. What the heck just happened there?
I mean, that was crazy. That was every single, like, probably steroid you could have, right? Like, on a character that doesn't have a built-in speed boost. That was Pummelers, that was Stagger Spagger, that was Knife's Edge, and the Mako secondary. If you had an Era, could you imagine the speed?
Yeah, imagine if we had Ad Rush with that, by the way.
True!
That would have been insane, but, I mean, still a crazy job. And Wee's just gonna pick up the kill. You can't contest him for these cores, Yachi, you gotta learn! And nice job from Wii to try to bring them to match point here and just try to close out the game.
I mean, yeah, it appears Corpse Control definitely learned from last time. Don't get lazy in the third set. You know, you have to finish your food if that's how you're going to be playing. So they are definitely coming here. Wii is gigantic now. A little bit of funny Atlas secondary interaction there with the core. Gets Dragon Claude straight up the core flip, but...
Zack just gave up the barrier for no reason, but Wee's gonna find a really nice kill on the guy that gets. He's also strike orienting these Atlas abilities so well. Obviously that's, you know, that size helped a little bit from, and the size and the speed helped. But
what killed that?
I mean, we don't need to worry about it. We just a good job from Corpse Control. Zach are actually going to be picking up the MVP here, but it just goes to show that Zach Smack. We're not even talking about him, but just really consistent core control throughout this entire series. But we just finding crazy kills in both games with this Nice Edge. I mean, who gives this guy Nice Edge Juliet every game? Like, I gotta play with Nice Edge Juliet every game.
It's built in the Wii's kit. Like, you spawn as Wii, you get Knife's Edge. It's just how it is.
I wish I could do that. I mean, he might be better Juliet than me at this point, honestly.
Hey, I mean, if you had Knife's Edge every game, you could probably say the same thing. But you know what? Well played from Yin and Yang. That is a hard team to go against, you know. Andy, Zach Smack, Wii, they're called Corpse Control for a reason. And, well, your corpses were controlled today. But, hey, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, you know? Hopefully, it was, hopefully there's something to learn from both teams there. So, well played, well played.
And hey, there's another game for each team today, so.
Absolutely.
Ye can still bounce back and Corpse Control, going into their next game, gonna feel really good about that one.
Yep, absolutely. They will be flying high, and hey, Yin and Yang, or yeah, that's their name. They will definitely be wanting to prove something to the next team that they go up against. So, we'll just have to see how that shakes out at the standings at the end of the night. But for now, I've been Saikeen, joined today by Appabug. Earlier we had Malachi. And thank you for watching this first game of Nest. Stay tuned for the next one. Any closing remarks, Appa?
No, really good job. Thank you for becoming Malachi 2.0 here in the second game. And we'll see you in just a moment.
All right, everybody, good evening and welcome back to North American Strikers Training Ground Season 2, Week 3. I'm Lego Mage here with Cloakoak, bringing you the second block of the evening. We're going to be having a big matchup here, Cyberswipe versus Dynasty Party. Cloakoak, how are we feeling about these two teams, about this series?
Well, I don't know if the draft that we have up on screen is leftover from previous match or if these are the characters that we're about to look at, but I know that these are two of the teams I am most excited to watch. I haven't had the opportunity to see either one of them yet this season, but lots of players that I love. Of course, Asianator, my teammate on the UTD collegiate team, but also lots of familiar faces from elsewhere in the competitive scene. So it's bound to be a fun match regardless. And it looks like this is the draft that we're looking at. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, this is a really interesting one, right? Because you see the first pick, Octavia on Oni Village, Cat's last start. I mean, this is such a weird speed start, right? You have Spark and you have Cat's last going here, so it's going to be a goofy game. But yeah, Dynasty Party, you have the Octavia midfield that's obviously going to be a huge boom. You have a speedster in the Kai as well, kind of to help match. So it's definitely going to be a big bout there in that area. The Rune double midfield thing they got going on could be interesting. I don't know. It's a weird comp from Cyberswipe. I think Dynasty's makes more sense on paper, and Octavia is of course going to be a problem. But we'll have to see. It's curious how it goes. The Banishes and the Kai outpacing the Octavia. I think those are the two big things that they're gonna have to really focus on in order to win the midfield. Because I mean, this entire map is basically.
Yeah, I actually do think that the double midfield could, in a weird way, be a very valuable tool against this Octavia, because normally you kind of have to rely on goalie midfield back passing to play the keep away from Octavia. Having a second person in the midfield that's not just a mobile brawler, but actually, a midfield character, as well as the banish on the Rune. Obviously you can banish Octavia in her secondary. I actually think that the Octavia might have a little bit of a run for her money this game, but we'll see. It is certainly a more stereotypical comp on the side of Dynasty. So we'll see if the unconventional Cyberswipe playstyle here can pull something through. Looking at these starting awakenings, it is 3 cast to lasts on our speedsters and our Rune, respectively. And that is strike shot on the Mako. Nothing too interesting there.
Yeah, but you see Asianator pick up the momentum boots here on the Asher instead of the strike shot, which has been kind of a lot more favored, but looks like they're just going for the speed, really looking to just navigate around the one berry that they're trying to protect a little bit easier rather than have that extra influence. And, with Octavia on your team, you kind of don't really need to necessarily have that extra projectile. So, yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy in terms of the awakenings. And, I mean, so far, nothing too crazy out of the gate. It's just been a standard Oni .1 here. Barriers getting traded. The goal is open, and Cliff did get staggered off a good banish here. Looks like Ram Umbra will pick up the KO. Expo Chain on the top side. It's actually going to be Zoe the Witch with the primary able to sink it in. MCB Cyberswipe will take the first point here in game 1.
Yeah, Swaghaver did luckily manage to snag level 2 off of that point. About as much as you can ask for as a .1 Kazan player. But 2 barriers immediately taken by Cyberswipe once more. Cliff does have this flow state up in the midfield, but it's this double midfield pressure, and the base drop sends it backwards.
Oh, you hate to see it. You really hate to see it. A bit of a miscommunication from Dynasty Party, but I want to point out, Expo Chan kind of busted a move there with the double barriers, had the secondary set up in a pretty decent spot, and was able to make a nice little play to open that goal up. But yeah, hopefully Dynasty Party able to clean up a few of their mistakes here. A nice banish from Expo Chan, able to stick the core right through Asianator and open up the goal now. Ram Umbra with just a dime to the bottom side. A quick set one though, looks like for Cyberswipe. And Dynasty Party, the Octavia not as oppressive so far as we might expect. We'll have to see what these drafts hold in terms of speed awakenings.
Yeah, certainly. Speed is king in this game in general, but especially on Oni Village. Obviously, I think this Kai might be eyeing Twin Drive here. I think that makes the most sense, but actually opts for Demolitionist instead. That'll be Twin Drive on the rune, ensuring that Octavia doesn't get it. Team player on this Asher could solve some of the problems of Dynasty Party, which is nice to see. Spark actually falls all the way back to Kazan here. There were no Sparkers on the Kai or the rune, so Swaghammer gets that second Spark for free. Actually a pretty good draft for both sides. But I do have to say that the Spark scaling on Swaghammer and the team player on Asianator make me think that Dynasty Party came out on top with that one.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And you get the Stagger Swagger as well on Octavia, and that's like one of her best awakenings. You just get speed and you don't die from chip damage, which these characters kind of just do. So yeah, some really good items. Hopefully Dynasty Party will be able to kind of bring it back a bit. Another pillar here from Expo Chan's going to open up the goal, though, yet again. And Rom Umbra on the top side with the barrage barrier being from Asianator. Just save that one away, though. Some quick thinking from the goalie. Now it's Zoe the Witch on the defense here as Cliff and Swaghammer look down to bring down a barrier here of their own. Core flip pass from Cliff. And Swaghammer can't get a hold of it. Expo Chan goes for the banish. Doesn't hit, but the evade is just enough time for her to sink it to the top side. Another point now. Cyber Swipe, 4 goals in a row, going unanswered.
Yeah, this does seem to be your typical Rune game, right? The whole thing about Rune is that he plays unlike any other character in this game in so many radically different ways. And if you don't adapt to that fast enough, he can really run over you. And Expo Chan, fantastic pilot of the character, is really showing us how it's done there. But we'll see if Dynasty Party can adapt to the Rune playstyle, maybe make a bit of a better stand here. So far, their barriers are staying up.
Asianator ready for that barrier there with a nice barrier beam, but Rom Umbra looking to set up some kind of play. Cliff, he's going to be out of it for just a bit. Zoe the Witch with the ensnare drums doesn't quite find the KO. The Octavia will recover here. Rom Umbra has a core flip available, and Cliff is still not healthy and no energy to spare. Looks like we're trying to make something happen here in this corner, but 2v1 is going to be difficult. To get back to Expo Chan now. Back pass to Rom Umbra, walking up the barrage, and that's the barrier gone. Yet again, Expo Chan, pillar past Rom Umbra. Core flip's going to get blocked away. To get sent back around to Swaghammer for an opportunity here to bring down the barrier yet again. Dynasty Party pass to Cliff. That'll pick it up. The first time the goal's been open. Core flip from Swaghammer sinks it in right through Rom Umbra. And finally, Dynasty Party going to be able to put some points up on the board.
Yeah, that was some nice dribbling there. Really isolated the core away from both of the midfielders of Cyber Swipe, which I think is ideal, right? Anytime that you can isolate defenders, it's nice, but it's one thing to get it past one midfielder. It's another thing to keep it away from two. And as this flow state pops off here, Cliff is getting quite the rule over the midfield.
Yeah, Cliff now with an opportunity. We haven't seen as much, I think, of the flow state this match coming out from Cliff as we typically would on a lot of Octavias. But it seems like this point is keeping up for quite a bit longer than we've seen here. Just dribbling it off this drum and bass from Zoe the Witch right now, enabling a lot of strikes to come through. But they will be able to sneak it past the Octavia, and finally the speed gonna run off. But Asianator has been holding onto this barrier for quite some time now, and they've got Rom Umbra hurt. Will evade the base drop. Be able to live on for just a little bit longer now. They still gotta bring down this barrier. Cliff, though, able to pick up the KO, and that is the Kai down with the core flip. So a huge KO, big power play for side of Dynasty Party. They look to convert now in overtime. Core flip from Expo Chan's just gonna buy some time. Rom Umbra can come back online now, getting it right back to the neutral. And yet again, I mean, here we go, another round. A nice banish from Expo Chan, though, shakes things up, and that's the barrier gone. Dynasty Party, yet again, in an open net situation. And scoring opportunity sure to present itself now as Expo Chan in the corner has the pillar, tries to get it down to Rom Umbra here, wins the strike war against Cliff and sinks it to the bottom side, earns the core flip as well. Another set point here for Cyber Swipe.
I remember the first time I saw Rune pull this kind of goalie banishing shenanigans. It was Tempo Melon, former teammate of Expo Chan. Who knows which one of them taught the other, but certain is that Expo Chan is getting the better of Asianator every time with these banishes. 1 point lead here for the side of Cyberswipe, but barriers are open for them this go round. Swaghaver has Flip in front of the net here. They might be able to tie up the set.
A fancy little defensive move there from Rom Umbro with the Soren angle to get it around Swaghaver. Swaghaver has the Flip available. Cliff and Aginator just need to work to get the core back up to him, but so far these midfielders, the double midfield comp, controlling that center line quite well with the Magnetized Souls and the speed. A nice pillar setup here. Aginator will be able to power through it. Swaghaver now looking for the opportunity. Dribble down to the bottom side. Flip on the line. A pillar blocks it, but Cliff's there to back him up and sinks it to the bottom corner. Now Dynasty Party on set point, tied up, an opportunity to tie this game.
Yeah, that was a really clean breakaway there from Swaghaver and just collapsed in on very nicely by Cliff. It does seem like when they can get possession, as you said at the start of the game, this more conventional comp that has, the proper brawler of Kazan is a lot more effective in the goal box. But right now, their current barrier is just having to get it through both Rune and Kai in the midfield, which is really giving them a run for their money. But Cliff does have Flip here, which means energy advantage is on the side of Dynasty Party. They might be able to snag their first set of the series.
And we hope to see it now. A nice little flip pass there, but Zoe the Witch will be in a good spot to just deflect it away. Pressure trying to come back in, but Swaghaver just can't get through that Mako secondary with the pop-up. It's just such a strong ability on a single barrier map like this where you're just kind of sitting on one. I mean, it's been showing the defense here has really just been shutting down the core control from Dynasty Party all game. Swaghaver able to get the barrier there with the press the point. Now another opportunity yet again. Aginator sending around the pillar there. And can go quite fast. We go into overtime. Swaghaver with the hooks into the bottom. A strike shot from Zoe the Witch. Will sword angle it and save that one. Now Rom Umbro looking for something. McCliff for the breakaway pass to Swaghaver. Sinks it to the top side. And Dynasty Party will take set 2.
Yeah, and I believe this will be a set MVP for Cliff, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. Octavia getting set MVP here is massive for them. Lots of good stuff on the board. I think the explosive entrance is probably what they're eyeing here. A third spark on the board for Swaghaver as well that will probably have to be denied away. Yep, there we go. Kai will take that up. Rom Umbro making sure Swaghaver doesn't get the triple spark. Egoist falling to them instead. Nothing to sneeze at. Hot shot on the rune also good. I mean, this is just a plethora of good things in this draft. The thing that baffles me is this explosive entrance pickup on Asher. Definitely one of the, if you're going to take dash range on Asher, goalie is the place to do it, right? Sometimes the dash range can give you just a little bit more reach that Asher doesn't normally have to be able to respond to stuff. But it is still an unconventional pickup. I can't help but think that might have been a deny from the Mako.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You're trying to get less speed onto the team. I mean, everyone's playing for speed this game, so just having a character buff both the forwards with speed, it's really that is probably what happened there. But I mean, you can't complain when you got Egoist and Perfect Form on your two forwards right there, right? It was such a loaded draft with that spark showing up. Swaghaver was destined to get something really good, and a nice crooked leverage there as well. We'll actually see Swaghaver sink it to the top side. Now it's Dynasty Party who look to be running away with this one, and well, I mean, there's still a spark left in the pool as well, and there's still catalysts, so Swaghaver has 2 Exodias available to him now.
Yeah, 2 Exodias, and this Octavia has so much scaling left on the board as well.
Yeah.
I did actually want to emphasize, we're already kind of seeing the Perfect Form come into play here. Perfect Form allows Octavia to keep her flow state up a lot better because, it's just a lot of CDR on pretty much any character. And so she gets her primary up a lot more, and sometimes the ult, but mostly the primary CDR is really nice for her to get that extra hit when the core gets away from her. So we'll be seeing Cliff run around even more at this point, and he's doing it right now.
A nice pillar there from Expo Chan. Rom Umbro not looking great, but Cliff looking to make a move in the top side. The drum and bass going to shut that down. The core slipping past the midfield. That's both sides opened up now. Swaghaver with the pop-up. It's going to run into Expo Chan instead. Now Cliff dropping the base drop. Core flip here from Zoe the Witch. Will send it out and around, but Aginator should be able to rotate this one back. Swaghaver looking for a breakaway, but Rom Umbro wins the strike war, brings it to the top side. Now the Giga Blast going to go wide, but gets it back to Swaghaver eventually. And the pillar, not quite enough to save it. Swaghaver sinks in yet another one. Now it's set point here for Dynasty Party.
Definitely an unfortunate pillar, but kind of hard to read where that core is going, especially in overtime. I will say that is probably the biggest advantage that Dynasty Party has in this game is the amount of core speed that they have between Team Player on Asianator and just the fact that you have a Kazan on your team. Overtime becomes significantly advantaged towards them, and this Octavia is really helping them to stall out the points until overtime. So it's working out very nicely in their favor right now. 2 points up, and they have barrier advantage here with 2 flips in front of the net.
Cliff just burning it right there to put the pressure on all 3 members of Cyberstripe. Trying to defend, but Cliff now up in their face. They will win the strike war past the Swaghammer here. The pillar's still in the way. The Castellas holding on, but a pass to Cliff, who just zooms up to the goal line. We'll be able to beat out 2 strikes for that point, and Dynasty Party now making the comeback and taking the lead. Swaghammer going to be the MVP off of the 3-0 set win.
And there's that third spark right there. Actually going to be grabbing the third spark instead of the Catalyst. There's both of those Exodias you were talking about.
That's
showing
crazy.
up in one draft. Also 2 Dash Awakenings available for Octavia here. Probably going to be a Super Surge pickup. Okay, Rapid Fire. Also, I mean, again, more primary CDR. I like it. Also denies it away from the rune. That's double dash range Asher. That is a double dash range Asher.
Yeah, that's over Catalyst and Knife's Edge. I mean, you just go Catalyst there like every time, but yeah, that's I guess there's a double deny against Zoe the Witch, right? Like, that's crazy. This guy's gonna be absolutely flying.
Yeah, if they were that worried about the Mako's speed, I don't know why they didn't just have Octavia pick it up, but
yeah,
I'm sure that there's some vision here. Maybe Asianator knows something about long dash Asher that I don't.
yeah. We'll have to see if it comes into play. I don't think we've seen too many big dashes come out from Asia. I mean, wow. I mean, there's that one. Yeah, Caster Cursby for saying that, I guess. But, I mean, we see how far that can go. I mean, we can definitely get some kind of advantage from that, surely. But a nice banish here looks like from Expo Chan, setting up the pillars. Won't get much, but has some damage onto Cliff. They're still hunting for this barrier. A nice clear from Asianator around the corner there. Still fighting over the midfield. It's become very difficult to get it past Cliff, though. They were not having the ease of bringing down these barriers like they were in that first point.
Yeah, it seems like Asianator is no longer being beat out by Expo Chan's wily rune shenanigans. And Cliff no longer really cares where the core is. He's going to be there. Damage doesn't really keep him off the core because he's got Stagger Swagger. It seems like the game plan of Dynasty Party is in full swing right now. If this continues, they're likely to just take the set. What do you think that could be switched up by Cyberswipe here to maybe get a little bit of their first set grandeur back under their feet?
Well, that's the thing, right? Is you know, you look at Cliff, who's kind of playing this sort of defensive midfield style now and just rotating with the Octavia. It's a bit of an unorthodox Octavia build in that you don't have like any speed outside of Stagger Swagger, but you have loads of cooldowns. You obviously have Stagger Swagger and you have Castellas. So you're just basically strike warring people in the midfield. All right, you're just keeping up with them just with your regular flow state speed, and you know you're not really taking damage. You're just regenning it all, and you're winning out in the cooldown battles. So it's like this attritional Octavia that is just causing Expo Chan and Ram Umbra to just burn everything they have to take down this barrier. But Cliff is always going to have an ability afterwards to eventually get it back to Swaghammer and just keep giving them tries. So, I mean, to answer that question, you got to find a way to just force it through Cliff somehow, like, which is hard on this map, right? Because it's just so open. But it's almost like you have to kind of stack and just like try and almost triple strike it and just get it through Cliff and just not allow him to, you know, keep up this foot race.
Yeah, we've seen them be able to take out the flow state multiple times, but here they are, both barriers down, one flip gone. Zoe the Witch has a defensive flip here, but nothing but air to her back. And the Dynasty Party, they're coming back in. Here comes the flow state once more, dribbling it up the field. Asianator pops the Path Splitter, but Expo Chan finds the angle around. They managed to bring back that point. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking at that replay. Expo Chan, with the strike that took the barrier, was just like perfectly positioned to where Cliff like couldn't get there in time to like strike war that. And then from there, it basically just the dominoes started falling. So, I mean, that's one way to do it. It's just like Cliff is not in the way, right? But I mean, we'll have to see. We're on game point right now, and the Dynasty Party looks like it's just going to continue to move right along here. Swaghaver bringing down the first barrier now, and Cliff with a flip available. We'll have to see if Cyberswipe are able to do anything about this. Facing a lot of pressure right now. The ensnare drums coming out. Core flip from Zoe the Witch, but gets caught in the ensnare drums, and that's going to be the barrier gone. Ram Umbra, though, firing right back with one of her own, and that's both sides opened up. An opportunity to end it or delay one more point. Giga Blast from Ram Umbra doesn't get much, but it gets back to Cliff now. Swaghaver with the quick leverage. Shot to the top is good, and that's Dynasty Party. The party never ends, and they'll take game one.
Yeah, and I think that the story of that game was very clear past the first set, and the levels really tell all that you need to know. All of Dynasty Party rocking level 9 or 10, both forwards hitting level 10 and Asianator being on level 9 with 133 redirects. This dude wasn't having to do an insane amount of defending after the first set. I mean, he was just kind of banished the first set, but yeah, it just seemed like when Dynasty Party made it to overtime, which they were pretty consistently doing every point, there was nothing that you could do to stop that Kazan up in the face, and Cliff and Asianator were guaranteed to get it to him at least a few times. Yeah, I think that was just a perfect example of proper Octavia scaling and just her ruling the midfield. When you let her pop off, she is the queen of the midfield.
Yeah, I mean, can we point out that Cliff had 20,000 damage that game? What was up with that? That's crazy. Especially because there was you didn't have any damage awakenings either. So, I mean, just hitting people with the drum and bass in the primary constantly, I guess, will eventually add up like that. But yeah, I mean, that was definitely a weird start for a game to have the double speed on the table like that. But yeah, I mean, Dynasty Party took good advantage. They were able to get the Octavia and pilot it pretty well. So yeah, I mean, that's game one. Game two, though, they're going to be going over to, Taiko Temple. So, bit of a different environment. We'll see how this one goes, Cloak. What are your thoughts on going to this map?
I think Rune is a significant threat on Taiko. I think Rune becomes a lot scarier. It already Dynasty Party they were struggling up against Expo Chan's Rune. I think she could very easily whip it out again here if they don't ban it and really cause some problems. So I think that's a really significant threat from Cyberswipe. I'm not entirely sure what Cliff has in the bag for Taiko. I believe he has a Drek that might come out, but I mean that would require a pretty good awakening start. I think it'd be weird to just bring a Drek out regardless of awakenings. But yeah, I do think just after that last game that the midfield matchup is going to be the most critical. It kind of seemed like when either team were able to collapse on offense, it was a goal pretty much instantaneously. So I'm really eyeing who's going to win in the midfield here, and I do think that Rune is the biggest threat on the table for Dynasty Party.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. They banned out the Aimi last time, which Expo Chan has kind of been known for, but yeah, that Rune was definitely putting in work for them that game, especially in those early sets. So we'll have to see here what this draft ends up looking like. Looks like they're getting into it right now. So let me pull this up. Okay, here we go. So Prize Fighter Missile Propulsion is the start right now, and I mean, you're mentioning Drek's
That's a Drek.
Awakening.
That's a Drek on the table. Yeah.
That is a Drakkar on the table, so we'll have to see if that gets picked up. We saw the Mako and the Asher on the goalies last game as well. I think we could very well just see a repeat of that. Both are really good on this map. And Swaghaver does have a Rasmus forward that he plays quite a bit, so a lot of things.
Swaghaver also has Asher Julie, yeah?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, it's hard to ban out a brawler anyway. And Cyberswipe did do that last time. So they banned out the Rasmus. So we'll see if they go for that again, or if they're going to target the midfield or goalie positions. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Missile Prop definitely puts a lot of the melee goalies onto a really, really nice spot, and of course the projectile midfielders like Drek, like you mentioned.
Normally, I would say that I wouldn't be surprised to see Swaghaver run the Kazan back, but I actually don't expect him to bring it
Weird
out
start.
because these starting awakenings kind of
Yeah.
suck for Kazan. You just die from prize fighter, never have any stacks, and then you basically have a dead awakening if you don't get survivability. So yeah, I definitely think he's going to be playing something else. I think the Asher would be a really nice pickup. I think that should be Dynasty's first pick if they can grab it. But we'll see what they opt for.
Yeah, it looks like they might be having some issue with the link right now, so that might need to get resolved here before we get into it. But yeah,
Also, a significant threat on prize fighter start is Asianator Finney.
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Um,
we could see Dynasty just go full on kill comp with a Finney goalie.
I mean, weirdly enough, I mean, it's not even like that bad of a pick on this map. Like,
Yeah, I think
kinda
Finney's
despite
pretty
the
decent here.
normal- Yeah, despite the normal Tycho rules, like a good Finney can do quite a bit of work.
I think the big idea with Finney on this map is you never want them to get it on your side of the field. Like that's already kind of the philosophy with Finney. You use your secondaries to keep the core on the enemy side of the field, and then any additional secondaries you have, you use to deal damage to people. But especially on Tycho, like you need Finney to hold the lane down. The core cannot get to your side because you can't win in the corner. But I think that she's pretty good at that. I think she can hold it on her side, and you know if you're running a kill comp, the enemy team only gets so many attempts before they're dead, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It looks like it's getting remade actually, so might be
Oh,
just a
so-
moment.
Is this a different? Is it going to be a different awakening start?
I don't know. No, it will not be.
Got it.
The
Okay,
links,
the
the
links
links
died.
have died, so it's gonna be the same awakenings, but it's just gonna be a minute before we actually get into it. Yeah, but
I will say this is one of the maps where I think double midfield is really disadvantageous.
yeah,
I think you need someone that can stand in the corner. I think Kai could fulfill that niche for Cyberswipe if they decide to run the Kai rune again, but it's definitely not conventional. Usually you have, you know, an X or an Asher are kind of the two big ones that'll, you know, really go in there and screw up the corner for the enemy goalie. But I mean, Rune is already a pretty significant threat here, but it's just not conventional for actually applying corner pressure. It's just kind of for you place the pillars there to keep the core in the corner, right?
yeah. I mean, we've seen Nassel players, notably Vaughn played Rune on this map before, so I think Rune's one of those characters where like if you're good at him, you can kind of use him whenever, but if you're like not good at him, right, it's rough no matter what. So I mean, I don't know. There's just so many things to consider, like going in to this draft, especially if you're Cyberswipe, because it felt like you came out strong there, but eventually everything kind of fell apart, and now you're a game down, right? But it looks like we got the Luna ban coming out first. It's kind of interesting. The missile prop start. This isn't typically a Luna map, but I guess they just don't want to see it take over the game.
Yeah, I'm not even entirely sure who plays Luna on the
I
Cyberswipe
don't know.
squad. There's some lore there that I'm unaware of.
I don't know. It looks like it's Rune coming out from Dynasty Party, so they are targeting that Rune and taking it off the map. And so Cyberswipe going for the Asher, though, on their first pick. Deny that out of the goalie position and put it on their roster. So solid pick 1 there.
Stream is claiming that this is Dynasty that picked up the Asher. Is that not accurate?
Dynasty that picked up the Asher?
Yeah, it should be Cyberswipe first pick. Yeah, I believe.
Okay, the stream... Oh, there it goes. Yeah, no, the stream had the teams backwards for some reason. As
Got
opposed
it.
to the
Okay.
I'm in the draft tool watching it, so...
Yeah. Okay, yeah,
it
the
is
Asher
Cyberswipe that
first
picked up
pick
the
for
Asher.
Cyberswipe is very nice.
Yeah, and Juliet going over to Dynasty Party, so it looks like Swag Haver going to be having a day on the Dash Punch.
Yeah, especially with Prize Fighter start. I'm assuming both these, this Asher Julie are both going Prize Fighter for sure.
Yeah.
That is a Dubu. That's definitely Dubu goalie, right? For
I
Asianator.
imagine. And you have Missile Prop as well. It's just a good starting awakening. I mean, Atlas going over to Cyberswipe for Expo and Zoe the Witch, so it looks like it will probably be an Asher Brawler there. Nothing insane so far. These are all pretty standard picks. Expo gonna pilot a really good Amy here as well with the Missile Prop. Waiting on this pick 6 though, but so far
it could also be. Oh wait, no, they subbed in Orion for Cyberswipe.
Oh, they did.
So this will be Orion in the goal box, Zoe Brawler, Expo Chan midfield by the looks of things.
Oh, interesting.
And there's the Cliff Drakkar that I was talking about. Yeah, this is the perfect awakening start for them to make this work.
Yeah, this is a good awakening start for them.
I do think that Dynasty Party, they rule the walls with their comp, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely very scary for Tycho, but having that Asher at your disposal, as well as Expo Chan just being incredibly comfortable on Aimi, is a big buff to Cyberswipe from their last game.
Yeah, I mean, and Drek just got buffed as well to have more power coming out of the stealth cloak, right? So they're gonna have to be real careful walking along that wall, especially should they choose to go with the prize fighter stacks, because getting KO'd is gonna be pretty rough. There, I could easily see a world where Expo gets a bad Cyberswipe and gets knocked off the ledge by this Juliet or this Drakkar, even the Dubu, really, right? So it's definitely gonna have to be something to pay attention to during it. But with the draft done, looks like they're just about ready to go, so we should be getting into it in just a bit, though. Any other big thoughts going into this? I mean, we've covered quite a lot in the time that it's taken for them to do this.
Yeah, I think that we've yapped about more or less all that there is to yap about. I think Cyberswipe, they're big. I mentioned that them having the Asher is a really massive buff here, but I do think that just having a conventional brawler, we're about to see a whole different Cyberswipe compared to the last game. Like it's kind of a clean slate here. We got a sub in. We're running a completely different type of comp. We're on a map that's highly favored for the characters that they've selected. So I think there's a pretty decent chance we will go to a game 3. But Dynasty Party, if they can keep the momentum up, could just end the series right here.
Well, it looks like we are loading in now. We're ready to go. So we'll actually get to see this play out. Said all that there is to. And now it's time to put their money where our mouths are, really, since we're the ones doing all the yapping. But yeah, we got Orion on the Atlas. And I mean, we're ready to go here.
Something I will be interested in is if the midfielders will still opt for Mag Souls. In the last patch, Mag Souls became pretty popular on this map, which was pretty surprising to me, but it's very nice for holding the lanes down. And after its nerf, it wasn't a massive nerf, but they did nerf Mag Souls. I'll be interested to see if these players will still opt for the pick or if they'll go back to their old favored slip kicks. We're finally getting into the match at last, though. And yeah, that's Mag Souls on Expo Chan, but Slick Kicks on Cliff. Both of these brawlers picking up Prize Fighter, but Zoe the Witch opting for Slicks while Swaghaver sticking with the Julie Pums. Both of these goalies going for Missile Prop as well. More or less exactly what we would have expected, but wow, is that Atlas primary flying far.
Yeah, no huge surprises here. Do have the strike shot on the Dubu over Mag Souls, so keeping with the theme of sending things the long way, right? But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. A nice double barrier here for Expo Chan to start the game off now. And Orion now facing quite a bit of pressure. The Firewall Sentry is going to come out in the center. There's the Soup going so far from midfield, but it'll be the bottom barrier that falls first. It's now Cliff versus Zoe the Witch. Cliff able to find the shotgun to bring it back up to Swaghaver here. But not able to get the barrier now. They're going to lose a bit of control as Cliff now on the dribbling on the bottom side. Expo Chan with the flip available. Going to burn it here. Pass to Zoe the Witch. Brings it to the bottom. Walks up with the barrier beam and sends Asianator flying back into his own goal box there. First point up for Cyberswipe yet again.
First Prize Fighter stack claimed as well there for Zoe the Witch. This Asher can now dash punch or punch dash or kill you in any other number of ways. Even easier.
Yeah, now barrier gone on the side of Cyberswipe here. Facing quite a bit of pressure now from Swaghaver. A nice expansive throws come out. But it's Cliff who's taken off the field. Now a power play for Cyberswipe to return the favor. They'll get a barrier of their own. They're going to lose the core, though. It's going to go all the way around Orion. And now it's an open net as Cliff respawns. The Soup coming out. Zoe the Witch able to pick up a second barrier in return here. And has a flip available now. Bounces off the drum. Goes for a flip. Thinks it right into the bottom. And nothing Asianator can do about that one. Cyberswipe on set point. And looks like they'll take a quick set one again.
Yeah, I will say, though, this is no longer Rune Cheese in front of the barrier with cast to last banishes. This is now, your proper stereotypical Taiko Temple team going all out. And Zoe the Witch is constantly on the prowl for these KOs. This is a whole new Cyberswipe in my books.
Yeah, they started off really strong in game one as well, but then kind of started to fall off the later the game went on. So we'll have to see if they're able to keep it up, but they'll need to get this final point either way. The Soup coming out here from Asianator, a nice elusive from Cliff to keep him falling off the map there. Now they're looking to reconvert, but Swaghaver with a backwards dash punch, helping to provide a bit of defense there in the midfield, has the flip available. It's being pushed into the corner there. A lot of damage coming onto this Juliet, the path splitter, and Zoe the Witch is hunting for the thing, but no, it's Orion with the strike shot. Bounces him 3 times, only enough to get a sorry ping out. And the second barrier going to fall down here on the power play for Cyberswipe as they're looking to push for this goal. Zoe the Witch, a bounce off the center, brings it up to the top side. Swaghaver is back online now. Expo Chan looking to set something up. Able to just sling it past Asianator there with enough core speed. And set one will go to Cyberswipe.
Yeah, all 3 of them at least a level above their Dynasty counterparts there. A nice set MVP for Zoe the Witch. I'm eyeing stacks here if I'm Zoe, but Catalyst certainly a good pickup. No one's going to deny that Catalyst is a fantastic awakening. I bet maybe stacks on Expo here. Nope, they're going Stagger Swagger. All right, these guys are defying all expectations. Team player on the Drek, I like. I believe team player with Drakkar secondary can red core, so gives a little bit of even an early game core speed advantage to Dynasty Party, and it'll be the stacks on stacks that fall all the way back to Swaghaver. So an interesting draft, not at all how I would have predicted that went, but I don't think anyone came out with anything they're going to be unhappy with.
Yeah, I mean, you just had like all of like the universally good awakenings except like Perfect Form and Egoist just showed up in that draft. So I think it's hard to walk away without something good there. Yeah, I mean, pretty even all around, right? Nothing super game breaking, and that's the thing, right? There isn't really any characters I don't think that could potentially, I mean, maybe Swaghaver's Juliet that could, get some really good items and kind of run away with the game, but Swaghaver is now operating on a double stacked basis. So if they do get KO, it's going to be rough. A nice core flip from Zoe the Witch. She's been using that, actually that was Expo Chan who got the credit for the goal, but the core flip was Zoe the Witch who bounced it off the center. She's been using that center quite often to bring down barriers and score some goals, so definitely something to watch out for there.
I always like when players are willing to use the creative Tycho angles on this map, because you can get some funky stuff like nowhere else in this game. There is a nice bit of pressure here from Dynasty Party. The Tofu Fortress will back everybody up. Swaghammer comes through and gets the double KO there. And that's a double power play for the side of Dynasty Party now. They'll likely get both barriers here. There they are. Core flip from Swaghammer. Back passes with the funky team player on Cliff is what'll bring it in. Some really nice team play there from Dynasty.
Yeah, and a shotgun to secure it. Took a double KO, but they did manage to get some points on the board. I mean, that's what it'll take. It's max prize fighter stacks for Swaghammer, so this Juliet can kill from just about anywhere on the map, and they've got the energy now to work with. See if they're able to bring this one back here. No barriers going down off of the kickoff, but the pressure is on from Dynasty Party here. The defense from Cyberswipe holding so far. Cliff with an opportunity in the corner. The shotgun will get one. And Zoe the Witch looking to return the favor. Will be able to get around the somersault. 2 core flips used, though, on the defense from Cliff and Asianators. They'll be looking to reconvert. The soup coming out as well, but all 3 members of Cyberswipe and a core flip from Zoe the Witch will be able to defend it, but a KO picked up by Swaghammer with the flip as well. Now it's a power play here for Dynasty Party as Cliff looks to bring down the second one. Swaghammer able to secure it. And an open goal now. Expo Chan on the defense, and Zoe the Witch will respawn. Going to cut off the pass, but they got to get this core off their side of the field. Cliff with the dribble. Pass to Swaghammer. Sinks it in right through the middle. And Dynasty now on set point.
And with that KO and that goal-scoring strike, Swaghammer now has 3 prize fighter stacks and 150 stacks on stacks. He's a bit of a loot pinata right now, but he is fast and dangerous.
Absolutely. Is Swaghammer with the big double barrier to start us off in this third point. Dribble off of the bumper there, and they're looking for this goal right now. Expo Chan looking for the KO, doesn't quite find it. Cliff from the top side, core flip from Orion, doesn't get stalled out, doesn't go very far, and Swaghammer able to win a strike war against Zoe the Witch. And that's going to be a set 1 here for Dynasty Party. This is looking an awful lot like game 1, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a Dynasty sweep from here on out, especially not looking at this draft. You're pretty much guaranteed to get something good here on all of the Cyberswipe players. I think this Atlas is maybe hurting the most, but Hotshot is certainly not a bad pickup. But yeah, I mean, this Asher has a ton of size awakenings to choose from. Extra special on the Aimee, which means Dubu doesn't get extra special. And in a strange turn of events, I actually feel like I feel like that draft was won by Cyberswipe, even though they lost the set. Just a lot of awakenings that the players of Dynasty Party couldn't really take advantage of, which is unfortunate for them. And as Zoe the Witch starts us off with another KO, I think we're back to Cyberswipe as they were in set 1.
And Swaghammer off the field. Didn't have any stacks, luckily, really, to lose there. But yeah, it was definitely a pretty good draft. The extra special on Expo is pretty huge, as well as the hot shot on the Atlas. So far, making a good use now, bringing down both barriers. Asianator, a crazy Soren angle, is able to save that one, but they got to get out of the goal box. Rolls on top of Zoe the Witch and clears it yet again. The defense is impeccable from Asianator right there. The Soup going to come out in midfield. Dynasty Party looks to reconvert. They'll bring down a second barrier now. Cliff in the corner, looking to get it past the Asher core flip from Zoe the Witch. Bounces it off the top. Can't do much here, but Expo Chan looks to make something happen. Blinks up the roll from Asianator, stops it. Pass up to Zoe the Witch, but Cliff is there to defend. Now on the top side. Dynasty still trying to get it off their side of the field. Cliff with the team player. Pass to Swaghammer. Dribble on the top side. Core flip from Orion, though. Clears it out and rotates it back yet again. Asianator sends it back around, though, and Swaghammer with an opportunity shot to the top. Orion can't find the Soren angle. And that's the point for Dynasty Party. It looked so rough, but Asianator, he holds.
Yeah, Asianator playing out of his mind on defense at that point. Also, Cliff, once again with this team player, getting so much value out of that pickup. I think that was a really, really smart draft from him in the set 1 carousel. And as they actually managed to stagger both forwards of Cyberswipe there, they're unstaggered now. But I must say, your prediction that Dynasty Party might just roll over with this game is looking more and more likely.
I mean, Swaghaver's looking built. Like, I'll say it. It's hard. It's going to be hard to stop him from here, I think. And I mean, wow, Aginator is just like... Aginator locked in gameplay-wise and is just like holding this open goal when it feels like he should not be. So as long as Cliff and Swaghaver are able to get some barriers every time Aginator gets it back, they have the opportunity to make something happen. A nice strike shot there actually sends it back in as well. And Cliff, walking up, forces the core flip out of Zoe the Witch. A nice roll here from Aginator. We'll send it back around now as Cliff and Swaghaver look to reconvert. This Juliet is hurting. It's going to be staggered, but a nice pass to Cliff, who is there. Orion cannot cover that part of the goal box. And now it's set point for Dynasty Party.
Swaghaver saved by the bell there, staggered in a barrier beam. But luckily Cliff is on the case and scored that goal just before the heavy hit could go off. He will live to keep his 128 stacks on stacks. No prize fighter stacks to his name until right then. Caster Curse, y'all. This Juliet is back in full swing.
Yeah, starting to really come online now with the Awakenings here. It's going to be tough. They got to find the KO, but both barriers falling down. It's going to be rough. And Zoe the Witch versus Cliff in this quarter could be difficult to deal with. Luckily, they were able to get the core out of that situation. Expo Chan with the Firewall Sentry. Doesn't get any barriers, but Swaghaver is staggered and trying to stay alive. Looks like Cyberswipe able to pick up a barrier here, and they're looking for more. But Aginator going to find a nice shot to the top side here. Core Flip's got to come out from Orion, but the Soup's going to block it off. They pick up the KO onto Swaghaver, and that's all those stacks gone now. A big power play from Cyberswipe, but they need to not let this get snuck past them. The Firewall Sentry coming out. Core Flip from Zoe the Witch gets blocked, though. They can't get the second barrier. It's crazy, but they'll get the kill on Cliff. Doesn't matter. Shot off the bumper. It goes right in. Dynasty Party sneaking away with that last point, and they will take a second set.
You had the premonition there. They can't let the core slip away from them, but they found the out clear there. And yeah, this is Cliff with set MVP. I didn't even acknowledge this, but Cliff actually picked up Explosive in that previous draft. Now with Rapid Fire, this dude's got a crazy amount of primaries, and the primaries are buffed by both Missile Propulsion and Explosive Entrance. This Drek is going to be hurting like crazy. You really are going to have to play your life around both of the forwards of Dynasty Party. It is Kata Ego picked up by Zoe the Witch, though. Another massive Exodia coming their way. The rest of the draft, nothing too crazy. Swaghaver is starting to pick up some sparks here, but can only get 2 for the rest of the game. Another fast KO, though, here as we start off in set 4.
Yeah. I mean, any more power is good power on Juliet. Wow, a very lucky break there as the core went to the center of the barriers. They only ended up losing 1. And Aginator, yet again, making another impossible hold in that corner to keep that second barrier still alive. The Astral Projection coming in almost makes things difficult, but they'll manage to hold on to it. Gets back to Swaghaver, and he'll pick up a second barrier for the side of Dynasty Party. Now a shotgun from Cliff sinks it right into the bottom side. Those projectiles go so far. And I mean, it almost doesn't even matter about the Awakenings at this point, because, I mean, other than the Drakkar, right? It feels like they're just making good decisions and good passing plays, and really the defense has just come online in a big way for Dynasty Party.
I will say Zoe the Witch is not letting up with these KOs, and a nice little burst of pressure there will ensure that Cyberswipe ties up the set. They are rocking the prize fighter advantage here for the time being, and if Zoe keeps making these power play opportunities for them, I do think Cyberswipe has a big chance to bring it back. Currently, the main place that they seem to be struggling is in the midfield. Cliff and Swaghaver, both of them have a lot of midfield presence. It's unusual that we get to see a Julie have this much time in the midfield, but I think the stacks on stacks are really helping to let him influence there.
Yeah, now an open goal here for Asianator. Zoe the Witch goes for another bounce shot, won't find it there. Has the core flip and Egoist proc available though, but the core getting back to Swaghammer though has the flurry. He's going to get one barrier here. Cliff looking to make it two potentially. They're keeping it in this corner. A nice pass from Zoe to Expo though. Will reconvert it. Core flip burnt by Asianator. Managed to keep it held down, but that's one less resource available. Going to burn the soup as well. And Zoe the Witch still rocking with that flip, just waiting for the opportunity to use it. Expo Chan passes it up. The Asher flip is burnt, but all three members of Dynasty Party gonna hold it down. Zoe the Witch getting absolutely stuffed on that scoring attempt. And now the core just continues to rotate around, and they'll pick up a second barrier. Now both sides are opened up. Asianator looking to reconvert this and just get another point off of some insane defensive plays here. Expo Chan goes for the shot, but can't find much. And Swaghammer off the middle! A perfect shot! Sneaks its way past Zoe and Orion. And it's game point, series point here for Dynasty Party.
The perfect corner angle off the Tycho Center. And gets to keep the flip for it as well. And, I mean, they're keeping up the pressure already in what could be the final point of this match. But Zoe and Expo coming back with vengeance here. The strike shot from Orion will keep it in play for now. Swaghammer burning the flurry of fists. But Asianator's holding strong. You were not joking when you said that this dude came online. He is locked in right now. But a nice sequence of strikes and abilities from Zoe are just one too many sins towards Asianator for him to deal with. And Cyberswipe might tie it up yet again.
Yeah, Asianator's still holding strong here, but Zoe has the Egoist yet again. It's kind of low health. They could pick up a KO potentially. So far, just holding the core on the bottom side of the field where the Asher cannot reach it. But Expo Chan sends it into the bottom corner now, looking for this opportunity. The soup comes out, but a bad spread, and Asianator can't catch it. Set point now for Cyberswipe, a chance to bring it back and go to set 5.
Yeah, I think that the blink there from Expo is what interrupted the soup there. It's really weird to see that happen, but I'm sure that Cyberswipe is very happy that's the way it went down. Orion actually getting to watch all the way up to the midfield here, but Zoe gets KO'd by the Dubu roll, even though the barriers go down. What a glitch pop! Expo Chan on the comfort pick will close out the set. And even in the reverse power play, Cyberswipe are back in it. A well-deserved set MVP for her.
What a way to bring it back here. The final draft of the game, we see that fourth spark showing up, as well as Knife's Edge, Fight or Flight. Spark of Focus, I guess, is here too as well, but it will be Timeless Creator onto the Aimi. Manu pickup here for Asianator. Has the missile prop, so it should be just fine enough, and denies it, of course, from the Atlas, who goes for Knife's Edge instead for some of that extra speed, and denies it from the Juliet Swaghammer, though. Picking up the second spark, it brings the power online, and is going to give him so much stagger to stay alive, but that does leave Fight or Flight available for Zoe the Witch, which is just a lot of speed. And Cliff, not left with much, is just going to opt for the cast to last. Very solid draft all around, but it's Cyberswipe, I think, who come out a little bit on top there.
Yeah, the extra special Timeless Exodia on Aimi is always a massive threat. And what killed there? Was that the soup?
No, I think there was something there. I think it was an Atlas primary there. I don't know. I didn't see it on the replay. I don't know what killed Cliff there. I'll be real. But if that was soup, that would be insane.
Zoe does get a prize fighter stack off of it, though, and Cyberswipe are keeping the pressure up. Asianator has no cooldowns here to leave it, but luckily it does get cleared away, at least briefly.
Core flip here from Orion. Just send it around the back, bounce off the back wall to get it back up to Zoe the Witch. Now bring a core flip of her own. She's going to stall it out, but push it to the bottom, and that's a barrier beam for a barrier getting traded there. Some ultimates getting burnt there, the soup and the turrets. But Dynasty Party looking to reconvert. Orion, though, holding on the line of that barrier. Looking to keep this one alive as long as possible. Log sending it back around. Cliff trying to get it to Swaghammer now, but just can't make anything happen. Swaghammer goes wide on the dash punch. And that won't find much either. A nice shotgun from Cliff. Snipes it from Orion, and that's both sides opened up now. Asianator on the goal line. Will find a nice clear pass over to Swaghammer. Messes up the dribble, though. Cliff's going to give him another opportunity. Looking for the punch. He's going to be able to find it and stuff it right in. Dynasty Party strike first in set 5.
Yep, and Swaghammer is building up those stacks on stacks once more. Only at 100 right now, but sure to get there as long as he doesn't get KO'd. Something I will say about Cyberswipe in this set is, not only is this Imi turret and Exodia, but it also specifically solves a problem that I think they've been having all game, which is just their ability to control the midfield. It seems like Cliff has been doing such a good job of holding down these lanes, but that timeless turret allows them to pretty much just win a lane immediately. That being said, it is the barriers of Cyberswipe that go down first. Swaghammer has this flip here. Could just give another point right here.
Yeah, Expo, a nice clear to get it away from Swaghammer there, but Cliff looking to send it back up. Now burns the flip, goes for the dash punch. The Astral Projection blocks it, though. Crazy. It fished it right out of the dash hitbox. Zoe the Witch burnt the flip here as well, but the barrier not able to go down. Swaghammer looking for another opportunity. Core flip from Orion, but hits a bad angle, and it goes right back to Swaghammer's looking to make another attempt at the point. Shotgun from Cliff. Doesn't find it. The dash punch goes wide. Core flip from Expo brings out the Firewall Sentry on defense, but it's just right back to the midfield here. Swaghammer shot to the top. Orion gets there in time. Soup coming out from Asianator. Just blocks off part of the map for a bit. A pass splitter here from Zoe the Witch. They're looking to bring down the second barrier, but Cliff is there on the defense. They get it to Swaghammer. Doesn't have the angle, but another attempt will be good. Right into the bottom side, and now it's Dynasty Party on series point.
I'm baffled that Cliff managed to find that strike war against the path splitter and clear that away. But I guess the perfect timing will save your butt there if you manage to find it. And he's back on the case again, but Atlas Primary, the long way, is going to take the first barrier here.
Long way. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of stuff happen the long way. This match, it feels like, with the so prop start. But a power play here for Cyberswipe. They look to bring down this elusive barrier. A huge suit from Asianator just got a KO, and also just broke the audio for a second with how fast the core went through there. But it reverses the power play and keeps the barrier up because Asianator does not like giving up anything ever, apparently. But now Cliff and Swag have an opportunity to end it. Cliff getting in the mix, but a nice strike war from Orion will keep Cyberswipe alive a bit longer. Zoe the Witch and Expo looking to bring it down. Expo able to find the barrier, sets up the Firewall Sentry. A huge somersault from Asianator, stops the core, and saves it, though, from being a point. A pass to Swaghammer now goes for the core flip. The dash goes too far, but has the flurries. A dribble off the top side. Core flip from Zoe, though. Core flip from Asianator in response. Pass to Swaghammer, sinks it to the bottom. It's good. What a play. Swaghammer ready for it. And Dynasty Party take the series.
Yeah, that was some really, really good gameplay from both teams, but I mean, especially, I think that the team synergy was evident in Dynasty Party. All three of them had, just between the different pairings, had a ton of synergy. I thought Cliff and Asianator had some insane defensive holds that game. And then both goalie and midfielder synergized with Swaghammer really well. 7 goals from Swaghammer. 5 assists from Asianator. Yeah, just plenty of good team synergy coming out from Dynasty Party. But, I mean, really, it's no surprise to me that Asianator pulls out the MVP there. So many insane holds and almost 100 saves to his name. What a guy. What a guy.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a goalie. A bit of a goalie masterclass there from Asianator. Just so clutch in so many situations that look to be unwinnable. I mean, when you're facing an Imi turret and an Asher just in your face like that, and he just times the roll and the strike so perfectly to clear everything so efficiently, and just constantly just getting away with basically a few crimes. Like, some of those clears should have been illegal, but it's all good because Dynasty Party, I mean, it basically was a repeat of game 1. They get swept in set 1, and then they bring it all the way back and just look really solid throughout there. So, yeah, big series win for them for sure. I mean, can't overlook Cliff and Swaghammer, of course, who also played a pretty excellent game. But yeah, I mean, Asianator kind of was the star of that show, especially in that game 2. But well, those are our series for tonight. if we want to take a look at the standings, though, real quick before we leave, there are still some games, of course, going on right now. So not everything you see here is official yet. It could change a little bit, but for the most part, it's where everyone stands. Polar Cortex and Galactic Space Cows going to be remaining undefeated at 7-0. It's going to be a heater of a game when they end up facing each other. Famine, F Corp, and Dynasty Party, though, not too far behind at 5-2 apiece. 5-3 here for Corpse Control, Cyberswipe at 4-3. Cat Munch Enjoyers, Orb Chasers also sitting along in the middle of the pack, still with an opportunity to bring it into the playoffs at 4-4 and 3-4 respectively. And then trailing toward the bottom, we have Flex going to give it to you, Power Friendship, Yin and Yang, and Team Arc, unfortunately, still yet to pick up a series. And their playoff hopes are pretty much done, those bottom three, barring some insane miracle. But yeah, that middle of the pack area is still pretty competitive.
What's the cutoff for playoffs?
I mean it's top 6, but I don't know record wise what the cutoff
Top
is,
6.
but I'm pretty sure 0-7 and 1-6. I think you're cooked at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
Yeah, I was mainly
Flex
wondering
has a
to see
chance.
who has a
Yeah.
chance.
I think Flex still has a chance at 2 and 5. I think there's
Yes.
a chance, but I don't know if it's in their control at this point, of course. But Cyberswipe, Cat Munch Enjoyers, and Orb Chasers are really the kind of the three middle of the pack teams that we're seeing vie for that 6th spot, right? Because you kind of have your top 4 teams right now where they sit. I don't see that changing too much. I think Corpse Control can kind of shake things up a bit. They're in the top 5 teams for a reason, and I think they'll remain in there. But yeah, Cyberswipe, Cat Munch, Orb Chasers are very much in the hunt. They're your sort of wild card teams that we're not sure where they're going to land just yet. But really, I think the big competition is between those 3 or 4 teams there, sitting at that 4 to 7 spot.
Yeah, certainly exciting, and we do have. Is it 1 more week, 2 more weeks of the regular season here before we jump into playoffs? Not too long though. I mean, this is week 3, and we're playing 2 matches a week.
I don't actually know how many matches.
I think it has to be. I think it has to be 5 weeks with 2 matches a week to get a round robin out.
Yeah, it's something like that. I think one of the weeks there's only 1 series though, so I think it's like 11 games in total or something. Yeah, I believe it's 11 series in total. So, yeah, only a couple more weeks. Okay, 2 more of regular season, we're being told. So, yeah, 2 more weeks means 4 more series. So, you gotta really make these count. Actually, the bracket just got updated. Polar Cortex and Galactic Space House both won their series, so they're 8-0 and still undefeated. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see their playoff runs for sure. But yeah, that's all we have for tonight. Come back next week for week 4. See how that goes out. I don't know who's gonna be playing in week 4 on stream, but we'll have that information for you. However, Cloak, do you have anything else you want to say before we go for the night?
Nothing more other than, as always, see y'all in the queues and have a wonderful night.
Yeah, well, thanks everyone for watching, and have a good night.